He didn't even call his parents. I thought he was going to call his parents as well. The customers had changed completely. Tai-san, Kanzo-san, and Takumi-san were gone now. They were replaced by a caricature of a juvenile delinquent. He shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopsticks on the table and stood up to intimidate me.
不妻子春明です。
What part of that means that he wants to go fight you?
まあ、義継。初対面の方になんて口の利き方を。う
るせえババア。おいチェネ、そいつ誰だよ。
バイクで事故った旅行者の春明さん。
Boy, was that introduction half-assed.
改めてこちら織部香織さんと次男の
So that's why
安永君
she's his mother.
安永くんって朝の彼？
You're related? Really?
そうよく見たら似てるでしょ。
Which part are they alike? I can't see it. The Oribes. What an unpredictable family.
兄貴のこと言ってんじゃねえよ。
Whoa.
そう言われてもな。
I'm confident in my popularity. That's one way to shut down a bully, ladies and gentlemen. And from what I'd seen, that confidence was well justified.
とっとと町へ戻っちまえ、バカ女。バカバカバカ。
And that's all that bullies are able to say because they are ineloquent.
どうしよう春明さん。バカは否定できないかも。
She's really good. Chiemi is really good at handling herself.
なんと、ちえみちゃんはバカだったのか。よーし、バカバカ。
ひどい。
言ってやろうぜ、義継くん。バカバカ。
They're annoying him further.
なんなんだよてめえ。チェネバカにしてんじゃねえよ。
You're such a weirdo. You're pretty conflicted, aren't you?
ごめん、ちえみちゃん。本心じゃないんだ。
おお、見事な連続手のひら返し。このちえみをあっけに取られさせるとはなかなかやるな、春明さん。
ちえみちゃんには負けないぜ。
付き合ってんのかてめえら。
Boy, did I wish.
いい加減になさい、義継。とうに遅刻でしょ。着替えて学校。
Wanna bet that he's not going to go to school? He is trying to be a delinquent. Mumbling something, the kid walked out of the dining hall, leaving his hatful bowl behind.
ごめんなさいね。お恥ずかしいところを。
根は素直ないい子なんですけどね。
Yeah, I could actually see that. Somewhat.
あ、ところで、牧島さんとムロさんは？
あ、もうバイク拾いに出ましたよ。
まずい。追いかけないと。
うん。場所は分かってるみたいだったし、大丈夫じゃない？
How do they know where it is?
いや、一応ニュートラルにすれば押せるけどさ、操作わかるのかな？あとさすがに手伝うべきでしょ。作業が非効率になっちゃまずいし。
その程度なら手出しはやめときましょう。
なんで？
取りも直さず、春明さんがよそ者だからです。長時間一緒に歩くのはちょっとおすすめできない。
That's another half-ass explanation.
問題になりそうな人たちには思えなかったけど。
そりゃ二人とも大人だから。でも基本的にこの知恵みほどオープンな人はここにはそうそういない。
And why are you an exception? So many questions.
春明さんは平気かもだけど、一緒にいると向こうがストレス溜めるかもしれない。ただでさえ今普通じゃない。
And how is that place far from normal? I really have so many questions.
任せろと言われたら手出しをしない方がいいでしょうね。
Or are you just trying to keep him from following those guys and helping out?
そうなんですか。
Are you trying to keep him in the dark as much as possible? I feel that that's the case.
安水には安水のやり方がある。 男の人たちはそれにこだわるから。
I could somewhat understand that. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place for sure.
じゃあ、どこで待とうか。
うちに戻って待ちましょう。
Always at your place, Chiemi-san. Expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally, you'd expect we sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? As we waited, Chiemi, casually but uncomfortably, told me several things. First, I found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I'd assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning, a little girl was found straying around the Saranaga Rapids, not falls. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. Like I'd been told, the more superstitious inhabitants, Tai-san mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Chiemi didn't seem to think it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. And apparently, the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering information for a magazine article. Unlike the little girl and I, they'd come here via the normal route through Kamifujiyoshi, and therefore weren't considered a bad omen or whatever. Still, even normal outsiders put the people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. Okay, we got a pretty picture. Look at that pretty picture. Yasumizu was a settlement part of an autonomous region called Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It had also been on the map I'd been shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split into 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kamifujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Going to Kamifujiyoshi took about an hour by foot, or 20 minutes by car on the winding but paved road. Side note, the school students went to was in Kamifujiyoshi. These 2 settlements had ties so strong they shared customs and culture. Chiemi said the local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she would say was that Yasumizu had special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. Same. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. Really, that's your most important takeaway in that conversation. It was nearly noon when Takumi-san came back, ending my waiting game. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time we waited. It was probably Chiami's way of saying that nothing bad was happening here.
バイクってのはおめえもんだな、おやっさん。
去年取った獅子ほどじゃね
え。Last year. I really didn't expect them to just carry it here. Like, sure, there were 2 of them, but just how much mass did you have to hold a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and the river made my sweet ride really damn muddy.
どうやってあの崖を上げたんです？
滑車があんだよ。たまに下から物を引き上げなきゃなんねえから。
おい、匠。
と、余計なこと言ってる場合じゃねえ。これ大丈夫なのか？だいぶ水に浸かっちまったみてえだけど。
どうかな。見てみます。
じゃあ、あとは任すぜ。おやっさん、結構かかっちまったから、研ぎ直しは明日まで待ってもらえっか？
Are you also a blacksmith, by chance? I saw them off with a loud thank you. Now then.
手伝おっか？
とりあえず、一人でなんとかなるかやってみるよ。
The worst part of the repairs was right at the beginning. I wanted to start by washing it, but that old lady, Tai Yamawaki was her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any saranga mud on the ground here because it was corrupt or something. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to a water supply tap, so I did my best and convinced her to let me wash it as close to the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I could start checking what was wrong with it. It actually looked pretty good. Bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. The only problem was that both tires were flat. And it was a pretty big one.
道具とか持ってきてないの?
Always bring tools with you when you're planning on a road trip.
普通バイク旅行とかって持ってくるもんじゃない?
My point, exactly. Thank you, Chiemi.
いざとなればロードサービス呼べばいいかな的なノリだったんで。
不準備。
I agree. Totally unprepared.
いや、返す言葉もない。正直やけくそで出発したから冷静でもなかったのかも。
お？事情を聞いてほしそう。
彼女に振られたんだよ。
Oh, so that's why.
なんか嘘っぽいな。
It wasn't.
それはともかく、タンク修理道具か。野里屋敷ならあるかもしれないな。
Nosato Mansion?
野里屋敷？
I beat you to it.
安水で一番大きなお家。野里屋敷にないものは安水にはないよ。
なるほど。じゃあそこの人にお願いしに行こ
う。実はあんまり会うのはおすすめできないんだけど、背に腹は変えられないか。
また偉い人が登場？
その上ちょっと人格的にね。
And so we walked up the hill and arrived at the so-called Nosato Mansion. From what I could tell, it was located at the highest point in the settlement. And like Chiemi said, it was definitely a hell of a building. It had an elegant Western design which would probably look even better if the place were better maintained. The yard was overgrown and the building itself was pretty much buried in ivy and small trees. If someone told me it was cursed, I'd instantly believe them. Did people actually live here?
インターホン、生きてるかな?
She pressed a button next to the aged iron gate. Yasumizu was a quiet place, so I could easily hear the bell ring inside.
もう一度押そうか？
やめとこ。何度も鳴らすと心象悪いから。
そんなに気難しい人なの？
そうね。気難しい。いい表現だ。
I wasn't sure what she meant, but I opted to just wait rather than ask more questions. Soon enough, the person in question walked out of the mansion.
なんだ？誰だ？
He wasn't young, but he didn't look middle-aged either. He certainly looked high-strung, that much was sure.
どうも、野里さん。芹沢です。
知っている。芹沢千恵美。そっちの青年は存じ上げない。
Then try to be specific with your questions, old man.
Haroukiさん、こちら野里清之助さん。清之助さん、事故車の久石Haroukiさんです。
That introduction was the briefest one yet.
は？なんだって？
I explained the situation again. He furrowed his brow when I mentioned the Saranaga, in addition to the reason we were here.
というわけで、早々にここから出ていくためにも、修理道具をお持ちだったら貸していただけないかと。
タイヤはチューブですかね？
Huh?
一応パッチもあるがね、チューブタイヤだったら素人には難しいんじゃないのか？できるならいいがね。
Are you saying that you aren't an amateur in fixing these things?
なあ、チューブがバーストしてたら交換するしかないが、替えはさすがに持っておらんよ。譲る義理もないがね。
What an asshole.
すみません。 ちょっとそのあたりあんまり詳しくないまま乗っちゃったんで。
ちょっと話にならんね。おとなしく何十万だかの勉強料を払って拾ってもらうのをおすすめしよう。
Yeah, why won't he do that? I had no retort to that.
野里さん、多分ですけど、今の時期これ以上よその車がここに入るとか良くないんじゃないです？
はあ？君は間違いりだろう。未だにそんなもの信じてるのかね？
What nonsense?
私はともかくじいさまばあさま方がちょっとここ数日やたら外来者多いですし。
安水の連中の事情は知らんよ。私にどうしろと？油まみれになってパンク修理しろと？
Yeah, something like that. I'd have thought that people here would be much too generous in helping our character leave as soon as possible, considering how much they don't like outsiders.
いや、そこまでなくても藤吉の長者として困ってるマロードを助けるのにお力添えをいただかない。
He's the head of Fujiyoshi Village?
困った時だけ長者を頼るのではなく、安水流のもてなしでもしたらどうかね。崖から突き落とすんだったか？ん？
Wait, is that real? Whoa, what the hell?
いや、そんな言っちゃダメですよ。
Chiami's tone was slightly off. I could feel a bit of irritation behind her words.
本当、お恥ずかしい限りなんですが、なんとかしてみるんで、道具だけ貸してもらえませんか？
なんだと？
道具やらキットやら仮に入るだけで、作業は別のところでしますから、もちろんお代は払います。
まあ構わんがね。下手に物を破損させたりしたら弁償してもらうぞ。
Then let's hope he doesn't break anything.
きっちりしてもらう。
Then he pointed me to the garage and walked back to the mansion.
いやー、なんとかならない気がしてきた。チューブがバーストってなんだろう？
You're asking the wrong person.
春明さん、かっこ悪。
バイク乗りならスパナ一本で何でも修理してみせろと。
I know some people who think that they wish, or some people who wish that that is how you fix a bike.
まあわかりませんけど、なんかそういうメカに強い感じ？出したらグッとくる女は多いのでは？
じゃあ野里氏にはグッときたと？
いやー、どうせ知ったかぶりだから。あの人多分自分じゃ整備もできないよ。筋金入りの
He was just playing, acting a part.
じゃあなぜバイクの整備用品なんて？
Oh, that's a good question.
野里屋敷は上藤吉にある野里家のもっと大きいお屋敷からいらないものを運んで置いとくような場所らしくてね。
Yeah, but why do they have a lot of stuff?
5、6年前に清之助さんが単車買ってもらったけど、ろくに乗りこなせなくてお蔵入りにしたとか聞いたことある。
Damn, that was the countryside for you. Couldn't hide your shame if your life depended on it. Anyway, I now knew that the man was the condescending, pretentious type. He still helped me out though, and it was true I didn't know much about bike repairs, so I couldn't really get mad.
さ、そうと決まれば使えそうなものは全部持ち出してやろうぜ。
Let's be generous with the tools that we are borrowing.
私、邪魔じゃないかな。
いや、適当に話してないと気がめいるんで、相槌打ってくれるだけでも助かる。
So he doesn't like silence. The instructions that came with the repair kit told me that my bike's tires were a rather difficult type to repair. Apparently, I had to remove the tires, but where did I even start with that? Well, as long as I didn't break it, nothing I did could be worse than having to call road service down here, so I just tried taking it apart. But as I removed whatever nuts I could, I made the situation even worse than it was. Yeah, this really wasn't a job for an amateur.
お兄さん大変そうね。ちえみちゃんもよかったら食べてね。
わあ、あ ありがとうござい
Oh,
ます。
so now you're accepting food.
なんか大元になってんな。機械っつうのはやっぱダメだな。
まあ、怖いさえしなきゃ、文明の利器は便利だけどね。
That is definitely true.
日暮れまでに治りそうかい？
厳しいかも。最悪なんとかするから安心して。
She's still eating and eating. I really appreciated how she handled the visitors in my stead.
なあ、知恵ね。バイクって免許簡単に取れんの？
どうだろう。原付なら簡単よ。私も持ってるし。
She's eating everything.
中型大型の二輪は結構めんどいよ。普通免許取るのと同じ学科講習もあるし。バイク好きなのかい？ああ？関係ねえだろ。ちなみにそれいくらすんだよ。
Just trying to start a conversation with you, Yoshitsugu.
これは新車で80万くらいかな。
That's a lot of heroes.
たっけ！は？たっけ！バカ！どうやって貯めんだよ。まあバイトとか頑張ったから。
そんな新車が事故ってなんて、春樹さん、気の毒。
千恵美先生、さっきから気にはなってたんだけど、差し入れ、僕の分は？
先生、思わず
I
全部食べ
really
ちゃった。
feel like she didn't do that on accident. That she didn't eat up all the food that Oribe-san made for the two of them. I feel like Chiemi is really trying hard to keep Haruaki from eating anything that Oribe-san brings. And it's just curious. It's rather curious. I didn't want sympathy from the one responsible. As I told her off for not leaving me any food, I somehow removed the tires. I could only hope I'd be able to fix this up. I'd had this thing for less than a month, but the trouble it was putting me through made it feel somewhat dear to me. I wanted to fire it up again and make it go as fast as it could. Suddenly, I heard an engine. It felt like it was mocking me. Hold on, an engine? Here? I stopped working and turned around to see an unfamiliar van drive into the plaza. Barring the classic-looking piece of junk in Nosato's garage, this was the first time I'd seen a car here. As far as I knew, no one living here actually owned a running car, so...
さっき言った記者さんたちだね。
I knew it. Once the van stopped, a lady stepped out of it.
こんにちは。
Oh, she's pretty.
どうも。今日もご迷惑をおかけします。これまで見ないお方ね。
どうも。自己春明で
Bike
す。
crash. Haruaki bike crash.
そこまで自虐的になんなくても。
Crap, that was no time for an inside joke. I quickly introduced myself properly.
ちょっとその辺で事故りましてね。ここに寄せてもらってます。
なるほど。学生さんね。事故は災難だったわね。ちなみに私はこういうものです。
The woman gave me her business card. Hisako Mamiya, a freelance writer. Her pen name was Kyuko Hosei.
ちなみに読んだことない？宝生9個の記事。
Can't say that I have.
すみません。
だよね。まだまだマイナーだし、そもそも記事の。
Then why did you ask him if he has read any of your articles, Hisako?
それは難易度高いな。ちなみに何を書いておられるんです？
フードレビュー。変わった食品専門のね。
How unusual would the dishes have to be?
あれですか？世界で一番臭い缶詰とか、そういう。
That's some example.
そうそう。まあ、シュールなんて今更ネタになんないから、国内に絞ってマイナーな珍味を探し歩いてるわけ。そんなわけで、調理に変わった料理があるとか、情報があったらぜひちょうだい。日本全国、どこでも行くから。
How about weird dishes here in the Philippines? I would consider one of them balot. It's basically fertilized chicken egg with the chicks actually having grown some, I think, to an embryo state, and then eating that egg boiled. They put, I think, a little bit of salt into it, but you have to crack the egg yourself. It's like boiled egg, only that the chick's embryo is very much formed when you eat it. So yeah, it's disgusting for me, but a lot of Filipinos enjoy eating that sort of food. Again, I don't. I find it weird, and well, you can consider it as chicken abortion.
ラボの後輩がキャンパス内で採ったキノコで豚汁作ったら集団幻覚が起きまして。
Mass hallucinations. Like what mushroom is that?
思いつきと毒物は却下ね。
You should have said so from the start, Hisako. As we chatted, I became curious.
そういえば取材の方はお二人とか。
ええ、もう一人いるわ。ちょっと降りてくるのに時間が。あ、来た来た。
I looked at the van and became completely awestruck. It felt like the van had shed its skin or something that made no sense, but seriously, how did this fit in there? Okay, now I understand. I was wondering what could have possibly prompted him to say something like that. He was gargantuan. Takumi-san was something, but this man was on the level of a foreign heavyweight wrestler. Though unlike Takumi-san, this one was primarily fat rather than muscle. As he walked out of the driver's seat, the van shook wildly.
写真家の橋本雄大さんよ。こちらは私よりもっとずっと有名。オールラウンドでご活躍中で、写真はきっと気づかないうちに何枚か目にしてるはずよ。
Quite possibly, maybe, who knows. I didn't know much about photography, but I was definitely convinced. There was a certain kind of authority or gravity around him. He wasn't saying a word, and I couldn't tell what he was thinking.
どうもはじめまして。夫妻師春明です。
So much words. Was he even alive? Yes, he's alive, he answered. After a strange pause, he slowly bowed like the moving mountain he was, and greeted me with a voice like a titan. He seemed somewhat difficult to interact with.
今日で最終日でしたっけ？ええ、オリルさんが秘蔵の獅子慣れを開けてくださるってことなので。
What's a shishinare?
よその人に耐えられるかな？
Is it spicy?
まあ、胃薬も持ってきてるから大丈夫でしょ。
And so Mamiya-shi and Hashimoto-shi walked off to the dining hall. Who would have thought that such a beauty was a delicacy hunter? I had to admit, that gap was kind of charming. As intrigued as I was, I couldn't waste any more time. I had to fix my bike already. Whoa! What is that? That is a creepy-looking old man. A lot of things had surprised me here in Yasumizu, but nothing as much as this.
もしもし
No reaction. At first glance, he looked like a poor man too senile to think and perceive properly.
何かご用ですか
I made sure to speak as clearly as possible. It didn't look like he understood. I figured it was best to just ignore him and resume the repairs, but... I looked at him again. He was still just standing there like his soul and brain had left his body. A vacant stare, yellowed eyes, half-open mouth covered in saliva. He spoke again.
何が来るんです
What? His voice was too hoarse to make out.
何ですって
I placed my hand against my ear. He finally understood what I wanted and prepared to whisper something. I brought my ear closer and... Oh my god, look at the face of the old man. That is some weird and creepy shit right there. The sudden shout caught me completely off guard and made me fall to the ground. He looked down at me laughing. What a troll! He clapped and opened his half-toothless mouth into a wide smile. Is he crazy? I feel like he is, but he isn't. He bent his body in a weird way, laughed like he was convulsing, turned around, and just left.
Harouki-san!
Yeah, where were you? Chiemi had joined the journalists and only just came back.
何が遅かったと?
おじいちゃん、知らない人にはああやっていたずらするんだよ。
Oh, that explains it. But is he crazy, or is he just pretending to be crazy, or are you guys portraying him as a crazy person?
あれ、ちえみちゃんの?
いやいや、本名は知らないんだ。昔から休みずにいるおじいちゃんだけど、昔からあんな感じ。
What an interesting character.
ボケてるというか、ちょっとおかしいのか、あの人。
That's one way of putting it.
うん。みんな狼じじいって呼んでるけど。
The old man who cried wolf. If this is as anything to go by with the children's story, then we all know where this story is actually going. Named after the boy who cried wolf, I assume. Doesn't work as well, though.
狼ね。
As far as I knew, there were no wild wolves in Japan. There used to be, but after the last sighting in either the Meiji or Showa era, they've been considered extinct here. Modern Japan's image of wolves came from Western fairy tales and the like. It wasn't linked to anything in art culture or life. Even the boy who cried wolf was a Western tale. Did his brand of insanity make him repeat the tale or something? A bit weirded out by the circumstances, I went back to repairing my bike. After a bit more time, I somehow took off the rubber from the tires and removed the tubes. Both tires were pierced by some really rusty nails. Fuck, this kind of stuff only happened at the worst of times. Then I applied the patches and filled them with air using a manual pump. I wet the tubes. There were no bubbles, meaning no air was leaving them. Things were looking good. After the high schoolers came back from school and passed by, no one else stopped to talk. Chiemi was looking a bit bored now.
なんとかなりそうかも。
嘘。あんなにダメっぽかったの。
Yeah, it did, right at the beginning.
悪かったね。まあ、これを組み立て直すって大仕事が残ってるけど。
Rebuild what?
それが終わったら出発できそう？
そうだね。長居するとまずそうなのはよくわかったし。
そう、よかった。
You're not even hiding it. She didn't seem to care that much. Guess I had no chance with her, huh?
もう何時間もコンを詰めっぱなしでしょ？大丈夫？疲れてない？
That's nice of you to ask.
昼食休憩の機会が誰かさんに奪われたこともあってね。
代わりにクラッカーをあげたじゃないですか。
Like that was enough to sate a guy in his mid-20s.
まあ、僕は大丈夫。もう一頑張りする。君ももう行っていいよ。大体の人とは顔合わせしたような気がするし。
多分あと2人会ってない人がいるかな。
Just two left? Really? Well, there was no real need to it, right?
もうちょっといるよ。どうせ暇だから帰ってきたわけだし、することもないし。
52人の男友達と遊ぶ選択肢はなかったの？
Someone's bitter.
前言撤回。暇したいから帰ってきたの。街暮らしは面倒も多くて。52人からのメールで見たことさ。
そっか。
ごめん。52人は嘘。
なんでそんな嘘を？
春秋さんに対する牽制？
Why would she pull a tactic like that, only to reveal her hand?
ねえ、彼女に振られたって本当？
And now she asked me that?
本当だって。
そっか。
Well, after that relentless assault, it wouldn't be fair unless I played my own card.
なんならこれ、乗っていく？
え？これって二人乗りなんだ。
もちろん。一応、タンデム用のヘルメットも吊るしてきてるし、まだ乾いてないけど。僕はこのままここを出ていくから、その便で、ちえみちゃんも外に出るのが都合良ければってことになるけど。ついでに、ロングツーリングしてみる？時間さえあれば、どこへだって行くよ。
That's a generous offer. Flexible, open to fine-tuning, wild and charming. This was a good date invitation, if I said so myself.
いいね、素敵。都合、問題ないよ。
Oh?
じゃあ、荷物まとめてくるね。
Chiemi smiled and turned around to head to her place. She then looked back at me and...
急いだ方がいいよ。ちえみさんの気が変わらないうちにね。
はいはい、もちろん。
Well, that made me motivated. This was one tiring trip, but at least I met someone good along the way. I just forget everything I didn't want to remember while on the road with her. I could only hope that clever girl and I would eventually grow closer. With that ulterior motive in mind, I resumed rebuilding my bike. After several failed attempts, I was finally making some good progress, putting the back bike together. Afternoon had passed and it was almost evening. At the rate I was going, I'd definitely be working while it was dark. Would that even be possible? It might be way past midnight by the time I was done. Chiemi might dump me for that. Man, life sure was hard. The plaza I'd worked in was now totally empty. There was no one around me. All I could hear was the wind, the frogs, and the tools in my hands. It was desolate, to say the least. I suddenly felt really weak. It made me keenly aware of being in a place I didn't belong, and that I was preparing to escape. It was an oppressive atmosphere, like the bars of a cage were slowly swinging shut. What's this, Harouki? Think you're gonna get attacked or something? I tried to laugh it off, but it didn't work. As I became more conscious of my surroundings, I began to hear things I hadn't noticed before. I heard a voice. Someone was singing. It was an inarticulate little girl's voice. I stopped my work. Before I knew it, I'd put my tools down and gone looking for the source. Was I that starved for human presence? Or did the Malays make me feel like I was in danger? I walked down the hill to where the song came from. Passing the tall grass, I arrived. Such short sentences. It was a strange sight. The field was covered in tall grass. There were countless rocks peeking out of it. Unlike the boulders all over Yasumizu, these were only up to my waist. They looked like gravestones. The field extended into the dusky western sky before ending at a cliff. This was the lowest point in Yasumizu, the border to Saranaga. There was a large pine tree at the edge. Donut bologna rice nose on a what? What does that even mean? The evening sun, the stones, and the pine's shadow gave the field a strange aura. A little girl's running through it. Her steps were awkward. At this moment, this space was alien. I felt like I was looking at a Giorgio de Chirico painting. The place felt like it didn't belong in this world. Suddenly, I came to understand that this place was special. It was a sacred mystical ground where no outsiders were welcome. The girl fell.
大丈夫？
I run with no hesitation. I run to with no hesitation the little girl. What does that? What? What was that line? Hop up. What is this? What does this mean? I console little girl, push away, run. Oh, okay. We're supposed to choose someone. What is this? Appears. Girl saw once me. I'm so confused about what's going on right now. Oh wait, I should have read it based on where the arrow was pointing or something like. Prepare for the feast when the evening mist arrive. Girl weave campers hide fear in the eyes, fear in the silly little girl, fear in the silly eyes. What the heck? Hide behind girl weave comprehensible. I'm so confused about what I'm supposed to be doing. And pressing the keys do nothing. Girl hug little girl warn me? I'm so confused. Me girl behind girl me, behind me girl. Me girl behind mist. What is this? I'm so confused. What is happening? Why are the texts written that way? Mist, mist. Me girl behind mist, mist. Mist, mist. Mist, 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 mist. Me girl behind mist, 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 mist. Mist, mist, mist. What is this? Me. Turn around. Run. Where? What is going on? In a daze, I came back to the plaza. Suddenly, Chiami shook me, bringing me back to my senses. Good question.
ごめん。すぐ作業に戻るから。
何言ってるの？もうダメ、間に合わない。Haroukiさんも隠れて。
What's going on? I couldn't understand what she was getting at.
何やってんだ、チエミ。とっとと部屋に戻れ。
でもHaroukiさんが。
ほっとけ、そんなよそ者。俺はおやっさんと他の連中に。
What is happening?
絶対戻れよ、チエミ。
This has turned really confusing really fast. I couldn't understand. What were these two doing? What scared them so much? It didn't take long for me to find out. I looked down the hill from Saranaga. Beyond the field I'd just been in came a rising haze. It was so dense you could easily call it mist. It moved strangely, like a living creature as it flowed into the plaza.
Harouki-san, こっち!
Chiemi pulled me by the hand.
何が、なんだか、頭が、なんだ、頭が、重いな。
What is going on?
今は我慢して。どこか鍵のかかるところに一人で入るの。出ないと死んじゃう。
Why? What?
どういうことなの？理由を。
お願い、Haroukiさん。今だけは言うことを聞いて。
She's really panicking. Albeit hesitantly, I did as she said. We ran up the hill and crossed a rice-field path until we made it to a simple outhouse.
ここならなんとか。
本当、何事なんだ？確かにすごい霧だけど、そんな慌てることじゃ。
いい？Haroukiさん。詳しく説明してる時間はない。
Okay, let's listen to her, please. Hiroaki, just listen to her.
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて絶対に物音一つ立てないで。
My mind was pretty clear by this point, so much so that I began to wonder why it was clouded until now. Because of that, I could easily understand exactly what Chiemi just said despite how weird it was. I could also see she was really desperate. That's a lot of keys that we need. Okay, hide in the outhouse since it's the only choice we have.
またとんでもない指示が来たもんだ。
春明さん。
言っとくけど相当な無茶ぶりだからね。ノルマクリアの暁には相当な見返りと説明を要求するから。
うん、いいよ。全部話す。だから今晩を生き延びて。
This is so weird. The words, the teary smile, none of it look fake.
じゃあね。君も急ぐんでしょ？
うん。それじゃ。
何？
I pressed too early again.
言うから。
Anyone want to bet that she won't be able to tell him what she wanted to tell him tomorrow? Leaving me alone, leaving me one hell of a homework assignment. Chiemi ran off. The plaza was covered in the mist by now. I could see it rising to take over the fields too. Anyway, a promise was a promise. 10 minutes later, I began to wonder what I was doing. Was I really supposed to spend the night here? This outhouse wasn't like a prefab you'd find in construction sites. It was just a shack built by hand. It merely happened to have a toilet unit installed. It was Japanese style, so I couldn't even sit down. All I could do was stand. Another problem. It was the type of toilet that periodically had to be pumped empty, so the smell was really bad. Sure, there was a cover on the toilet unit, but without any kind of air freshener anywhere, the smell of ammonia could only do so much. The only good thing about being here was that if I had to go to the toilet, well, mission complete. But what of it? Again, was I really supposed to spend the night here? The question quickly made me realize how stupid this was, and I began making assumptions to make this easier for myself. Was I being pranked, or was everyone here just crazy? Hell, the mist had already filled the surroundings, and there was no way that this shabby outhouse protected me from it. The air here already felt misty and damp. The temperature here was low, so I could still bear it somewhat, but staying here all night would make me all wet. Again, I wasn't safe from the mist here. That considered, I'd probably be better off sleeping in the grass outside than staying here. What a dummy. The reasonable part of my mind urged me to stop playing along with these hicks. However,
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて絶対に物音一つ立てないで。うん、いいよ。全部話す。だから今晩を生き延びて。
My sense of duty made it hard for me to break the promise I'd made to her. Actually, that wasn't quite true. I was more intrigued by the prospect of learning more about this place. Anyway, I took the time to compile what I'd found out today. This was a Yasumizu settlement, a special part of Fujiyoshi. It was situated right next to Saranaga Rapids. The people living here were Chiemi Serizawa, Yasunaga Oribe, his family Kaori Oribe and Yoshitsugu Oribe, Shikamochi Kamoshida, Haru Makishima, her granddad Kanso Makishima, Tai Yamawaki, Takumi Muro, Kiyonosuke Nosato. It seemed like he was from the Kamifujiyoshi, the place on the other side of the mountain, but for some reason he lived here now. And finally, the old man who cried wolf. Those were the 11 people I'd met, and Chiemi said I had 2 more left. That could only mean that the 2 I'd met by that pine were the ones. A little girl, she was probably the child that strayed into Saranaga yesterday morning. And then there was that fantastical-looking white-haired woman clad in strange clothing. She was probably the one I'd seen in the morning. The fact I'd seen her twice made it likely that she was indeed real, but with how mysterious this place was, I couldn't rule out the possibility that she was an illusion. According to Chiemi, the little girl was being looked after by someone in the village, so I could only assume that the white-haired woman was the one. If I counted the little girl, it would mean that Yasumizu had 13 inhabitants. Then there were the two journalists, Hisako Mamiya and Yudai Hashimoto. Add me to that, and you had a total of 3 outsiders, but I'd put that aside for now. Anyway, time for an assessment. Yesterday morning, a little girl strayed into Saranaga. To make it worse, no one, not even herself, knew anything about her. She instantly got branded as an ill omen. The next day, Chiami, who was in Saranaga for some reason, found me there. They recognized me as a proper lost person, but since I came through Saranaga, I was also branded as an ill omen. From what Kiyonosuke Satoshi said, it was safe to assume that it used to be customary to throw people like us into Saranaga. And then there was the mist. The girl said something mysterious. Prepare for the feast when the evening mist arrived. I could only assume it was related to the same superstitions. After all, the mist came from Saranaga itself. It and the river seemed to be central to the local customs and ideas. With that in mind, how was it dangerous? What was going to happen now? Yomi Bito, as in people from Yomi, the ancient Japanese land of the dead? Dead people come back through Saranaga, and they were corrupted. Well, that gave room for some wild ideas. Was there some sort of pathogen in Saranaga that rose up with the mist? Did it turn people into zombies? Was I about to be a part of a Japanese Resident Evil? Wait, that was already Japanese! Bravo for that insertion of Resident Evil right there! What if you had a 10% chance to be infected by the mist, but a 100% chance to be infected by another person? That would explain why everyone had to isolate themselves like this. If I became a zombie, I probably wouldn't have the mind to unlock the door. So basically, by locking myself in here, I was quarantining myself. I hadn't put all that much thought into that, but that seemed like a good story. Sure, stuff like the boulders and the wolves didn't fit anywhere into my idea, but it was still interesting. Then again, I knew this was Hicksville and all, but would a superstition that science could explain so easily really survive the modern world? It seems so weird.
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて絶対に物音一つ立てないで。
Don't make a sound? To be frank, the reason why I spent so much time on these delusions was because I was scared of things I didn't know or understand. In the past, people used to attribute stuff like natural phenomena and diseases to gods, devils, yokai, and then do nothing but fear them. They were scared of these manifestations of monsters and whatnot, but on the other hand, it was better than not seeing or not knowing what they really were. The fact that you could die to things you couldn't see or understand made life really unreasonable and unfair. That was why it was very logical to give things names and mental images in order to recognize and memorize them. I'm sorry for the noise, you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's quite noisy, so I apologize in advance for that. My fear of things I didn't know was the same, except I wasn't satisfied with just labels or hypotheses. I needed to reach the truth. That aside, what I was feeling right now wasn't a fear of the unknown. It was a realistic, practical fear of something that could endanger my life.
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて。
Wow, we've been repeating this line from Chiami-san for quite a bit now. That meant that outside lurked something dangerous that could hear sounds. Perhaps it was the so-called dead that rose up from the river. Or maybe, assuming I was right with my Saranaga sickness theory, it was people who came out and beat the shit out of all the deceased who didn't follow the rules. The wolf is coming. Maybe the wolf was the title given to the killer? Suddenly, I heard a scream in the distance. We can't! I don't want to go out and have a look! We don't have a choice! Wow, that was some timing. Right as I was about to form a new hypothesis, the proof connecting it all suddenly came to me, and it was right outside. It had gotten really dark. There were no lights anywhere. The darkness was fear, unperceived, unknown, dangerous, scary. Leaving this place was dangerous. Okay, the texts are getting weird again. Dangerous, scary, 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 scary. Scary things were scary no matter how much logic you applied. Oh, that's true. But I couldn't disregard my desire to get to know the fear and conquer it. Ah, bad idea, dude. That's a bad idea. I opened the door and stepped in place. Night wasn't absolute darkness. No matter how dark or cloudy it was, the sky always gave some bit of light to us. However, I came to understand that it could be hard to see even if there was light. Everything I saw was covered by a dense mist. Combined with the pale moonlight, it made the area seem milky. It made it hard to get around. Regardless, I couldn't ignore the scream. There was something beyond this veil. I kept moving forward. Unless my ears were deceiving me, the scream belonged to a woman and had come from the right. I couldn't let myself think that. Or rather, I didn't want to think that. The unknown was scary. Personally, I'd found that principle made my life really easy. I had more than enough fear from those which were directly threatening my life. I really didn't want to have the fear of losing someone as well. Change your line of thought, Harouki. Solving the mystery might save someone. 2 birds with 1 stone. I began walking faster. Another scream. It was getting close. I realized I had to find a way to protect myself. I was unarmed, so I looked around for anything I could use as a weapon. What could you possibly use as a weapon for something you don't even know? I felt around to see... Okay, I pressed the brown button. I felt around to see if there were any branches or anything. Sadly, all I felt was grass. I went deeper and searched the ground itself. Soon, I felt something hard. It was a rock. A moment of digging later, I took it in hand. It was a bit smaller than my hand. I almost teared up at how useless it seemed, but it was better than nothing. Well, that's true. A small rock is better than nothing. You could chuck it at whoever that was that attacked, whoever that was that screamed. I looked at the base of my feet and saw the grassy ground. I could easily move forward if I first checked the ground using my feet. And since I might have been close to the danger, I had to focus on what was ahead too. I'd recognize the danger and, if possible, get rid of it. I concentrated entirely on that and stepped forward. I couldn't hear the screams anymore, but I could hear other things. A wet sound. And the sound of something cracking. What could it possibly be? It filled my mind with countless things that I didn't want to imagine. Even so, I kept walking forward, until I saw it. Holy crap. That's a giant wolf-like creature. My hypotheses were nothing but delusions. The truth was truly something you had to see for yourself. But why? Why was this so scary in spite of being true? It wasn't supposed to exist. It couldn't exist. After all, it was a wolf with a humanoid body. And there's no such thing as werewolves. The next morning, in a paddy field in Fujiyoshi, Yasumizu 3rd block, someone discovered a thoroughly mangled corpse. The clothes nearby led the discoverers to conclude that it was the traveler Harouki Fusaishi. So yeah, our character died the first time around because we didn't really have a choice with the He's still moving. Strangely enough, I could perceive this particular moment. We didn't really have a choice on what route or what selection we have for the choices that were given to us. So this is the main route, and we have to complete this route in order to unlock all the other routes and also get to the bottom of this mystery. Strangely enough, I could perceive this particular moment. And so I... You didn't listen, Harouki. That was a problem. Was finished off by the girl. The last thing I heard was that. Hang the wolf? Okay, so that was the first loop. Unveiled arrival is what that route was called. Or yeah, we can call that a route and a loop, right? Okay. So we finally obtained Key 02, Werewolf and Resurrection. You can view it in the keys list. The route unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. And yeah, game over, obviously. Bad ending number 2. We've got the bad ending. I have no idea. Watch hint corner. Should we? I think we should. But yeah, I have no idea how many endings this game has, and I don't know how many we can get before we get to that part where we have to stop our playthrough, because again, I'm only allowed to play this game and to upload content up to, I think it's chapter 4 of the game, and that's as far as I can show the game to you guys. We are content creators for this game are banned from showing anything farther than that. So yeah, let's go watch the hint corner.
Yo,
done it now, Chief. Significant interface character. Alright, Sheep, that's a really creative name you got there. Why are you angry at Harouki Fusaishi? Alright, let's get down to business then. Show me what you have to show me, Sheep. Okay, what are your hints? Yeah, we were fated to arrive at this particular moment because we don't have any other choice. Yes, it had a locked mark. And I understand we need to get the keys, which are in the form of whatever truth we have come. Pointless. None of the choices will change a thing. But there was a choice underneath it. Yeah, I already read this from the tutorial, which I've also included in this video, or in the previous video. Yes, several times. So this I believe is similar to you'll need to die to obtain most of them. That's why death is unavoidable. So yeah, it reminds me sort of what game was that? Memories for the next time. Even if he dies, there's a system to replicate that. If you get stuck, try dying. That's weird advice. Yeah, I've read that as well. We can get keys from bad endings and from bad choices. Wait, how would we do that? But it's kind of more interesting to get all the bad endings right. Man's end. And we got that key 02. Yes, I did notice that. We did notice that. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna die in the next loop. In the menu, so you can check it out there. Yeah, he's way too curious for his own good. Bad endings that you're forced to play through first in the future. So alright. I kinda understood that even before we started playing the game. Okay, that's interesting.
売り出しに戻る。つまりゲームの冒頭、バイクで最初から読み直して
everything from the start if you like, but you're going to die a dozen of times, right? So yeah, it would be a pain, and that's why I think it's really cool that we have the chart, so we can just drop into a particular chapter or a particular moment in the game where we are given a choice, and we wouldn't have to redo everything until we finally got all the keys. And again, unfortunately, I won't be able to share that experience with you guys because I'm only allowed to up to chapter 4. Content creators, again, are only allowed up to chapter 4 of this game. Beyond that, we place a risk on our channel and on our videos of being taken down for not following the requests of Kekmo. But yeah, I will just jump right to that moment where we're given the choice of going outside to check on the scream or staying in the outhouse, and you guys know what the choice would be.
だから、ある程度状況を把握したら、シナリオチャートを使って、ふっとジャンプしちゃってくれ。
Yeah, we're gonna use that, the scenario chart.
大将が一度読み切ったシーン
As
な
I
ら、
said, that's exactly what I was saying before. But yeah, this game reminds me of 9 Doors, 9 Keys, 9... I forgot the complete title, the correct title. But it reminds me of that in a way that, especially in the third game, where we are really required to die and jump from one reality to another, or one timeline to another to get to the bottom of the mystery. And only by completing all of the timelines do we get to the final and the true route that we're supposed to take, and I find this interesting. It's an interesting mechanic.
画面に出てるチャートボタンを押し、ノーム、ナイの、9、悲鳴を追うかに飛んで OK だ。
Shall we go and check? So this is the chart right here. This really reminds me of that game on this. I know I played it first on the Vita, then it got released, I think, on the PC on Steam. I just can't remember the name of the game. So if you guys remember what it is, just share in the comment section below so that I can, remember the name of the game. But I do know that I made content for that particular game here on my channel, so I may as well just check later. But yeah. Next time we're gonna go back to number 2, Dense Mist, and choose the unlocked option. But for now, this is as far as we're gonna go with today's episode. We still have 2 more chapters left, I believe, because we can only show up to chapter 4. But yeah, thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on.